Hello there everyone, uxwbill, proud owner of one of the longest and biggest two-seater vehicles you're ever likely to see here, with an update on the Big Blue Whale project. Yesterday, the keykeeper and I got busy working on the front wheel bearings in this car because it was sounding like something of a lawnmower when it was being driven at highway speeds, and now after replacing both the inner and outer wheel bearings on both front wheels, it is perfectly quiet and plush going down the road once again. However, when we were underneath the car, we discovered that the sway bar links, one of them is completely broken, and the other one is not too far behind. So for about $6, a whopping $6 and possibly some change, I have here a replacement sway bar link kit to replace those. And there is some good news on the climate control front. Although I don't have the dash completely screwed back together yet and held in quite like it should be, you can see that it is at least back in the car, and the car looks normal inside once again, which is kind of nice. However, someone pointed out that it's possible other portions of the wiring harness could have melted, and I am greatly pleased and relieved to report that at least in this case, those things did not happen. I'm not sure if this little camera will have enough light to get a usable picture under here, but here you can see the wiring connector that goes to the blower resistor pack, and as you can see, it is not burnt, and what's more, those contacts are not in bad shape. The same is true of these thick wires here, which are actually going to the high fan speed relay, and I was pleased to see those wires are so nice and thick because it means they'll hold up to the current draw pretty well. Luckily, there's no melting or other damage to the vehicle's wiring there either. However, I did find something wrong. It is the condition of this item, the blower motor fan speed resistor pack, that might explain why the climate control switch in the car overheated and burned in the first place. I believe this is the original part that came with the car when it was manufactured, and you don't have to look at it too closely to see that the contact points attached to each of those nichrome resistor elements are in pretty bad shape. My guess is that simple heat and cold and moisture finally got to them, causing them to rust out. And these are the actual contact points. They are riveted to this bottom plate and connected to the terminals down here. Now, of course, I can't prove it, and you probably really can't see in there very well with this particular camera, but it looks like some of the molding compound that holds these terminals into place has been a little bit on the hot side. Luckily, there is no serious damage here. And just in case you were wondering how that compares to a brand new module, here's one right now. And it's quite a difference, isn't it? So I'm definitely going to be installing that in the car right away. What you're looking at right now is actually the hole where the blower motor speed control resistor pack actually goes. And the nice thing about this is that it's all completely inside the car. The blower motor is over there somewhere. High fan speed relay is up there. You can just, there's the edge of the blower motor right now. And with this being inside the car, and with there actually being a pretty decent amount of room under here, it would be pretty easy to implement the relay modification that I have been thinking about to relieve the burden on the climate control switch assembly, since a new one seems to be so very hard to find. Here's just a quick look at the fan connector going directly to the motor, that portion of the wiring harness. I find it interesting that the purple hot wire is so much thicker than the black ground wire. But as you can see, the important thing is that the connector is not damaged through heat or burning, and it seems to be in amazingly good shape. Nevertheless, it's going to get a healthy helping of this stuff to help keep it that way. Unfortunately, all is not yet perfect in the land of the Great Blue station wagon, as while the keykeeper was putting the right front passenger side tire back on the car and preparing the brake caliper for reinstallation after replacing and packing the wheel bearing, getting all that stuff ready, he had the bad fortune that while tightening the lower slide bolt into the caliper, the threads actually stripped out. So it looks like it's going to be a replacement brake caliper for us. Luckily, those are not very expensive, but these are definitely the kind of things that you can run into when you're tinkering with a nearly 20-year-old car.